Come on. I've been trying this entire time. This is not my fault. Okay?
When one thinks of construction, the images that often come to mind are of hardship, of dust, of beads of sweat rolling down.
Itu balik deh.
Creativity, camaraderie, and quiet life. It is a joy that can be. This essay does not aim to ignore the difficulties of the construction. Instead,
What the fuck?
the noble spiritual values that sprout and blossom every day amidst scaffolding and mortar. Collaboration, the joy of conquering technical challenges, and above all, it is the story of talented hands, creative minds, and enthusiastic hearts that have come. Happiness are always quietly blooming. Chapter 1. Quieter place on the architect's drafting table.
Teknologi. Aisyah dengar teknologi.
Dulu sulang pemadamiano.
From ideas or a balcony where a family will gather on a cool evening. The first joy is the joy of visualization, of imagination. When the engineer and project manager see the blueprints, they don't just see bright figures, they see the story. And how the air will flow. It is a silent but incredible. Create a softer feel. The window here should be widened to capture the
Como cuando salimos a trabajar y se parte el cable.
each discussion, each adjustment is not an argument, but a shared the joy of intellectual resonance, when multiple minds focus on a single goal. As a treasure, when the completed blueprint is construction, it becomes something. And the workers, as they first unroll the large blueprint of the construction site, is a special one. You see their work laid out in the coming months. Every section of the dots. The cleaning worker sees the blueprint creates order, a clear objective in the vast and somewhat chaotic space of the construction site. Instead of guesswork, everyone knows their exact role and task in the project. They are transparent, turning the every time a part of the structure is completed if the blueprint is the dream, then the groundbreaking ceremony is the moment when the idea begins its journey to become reality. The groundbreaking ceremony always carries a special positive energy. Symbolic. The ritual of scooping the first shovels of sand and earth. Promise from the gratitude, we will transform the smooth shovel hitting power, the rustling sound of sand falling, all the sense of solemnity. The investors smile with hope. And Anguinas exchange dances of trust. And the work
Teknologia! Teknologia!
ability that are also filled with excitement. The empty plot of land before them. All work. The joy here is field. They sow into this land of faith and were successful. After the formal rituals, the roar of the excavator is not a bothersome noise.
Hello, Mr. George. Jose and Fernando are drinking and driving.
Massive work, carving out the foundation of the house. For the workers, signals that the work has truly begun. They put on their leveled and clearly defined in just a few days. Turning potential energy into kinetic energy. Forming the heaviest tasks, paving the way for more delicate ones. The coordination between man and machine, between muscle and roar, every super bird is a note in the melody of beginnings. The melody that never the product of dozens, even hundreds of people with different specializations. And the greatest joy here is the joy of being a musician. Amidst the noise of machinery, words sometimes get a language of nods, hand gestures, and knowing. The person below passes up a steel pole. The person above only needs a land. Not a single word is spoken, yet the work flows perfectly. Say much, he just demonstrates. Feel of his hands. The young apprentice watches and learns. A pat on the back from the master mason when the mortar makes it just right is worth more than any further praise. The joy here is the joy of mutual understanding, of the synergy. Next move to create a unified dance. The feeling of for each person.
Tecnologia!
connectors between departments. When there is a conflict, optimal solution for both. When the weather is unfavorable, the sight of a complex machine of hundreds of people operating smoothly. The joy of the guy watching their orchestra play in the midst of strenuous working hours. These are the necessary rests in the noisy symphony of construction system, a time for everyone to recharge and strengthen their productivity. The most familiar and beautiful image. In the shade of a newly built
Hij heeft lampen przyjebał.
these stories are not always about work. Football match. Shares a cigarette with the person next to him. Another pours craftsman and apprentice. Between old and young disappear. The joy here is the joy of sharing. They share not just tea and cigarettes. The construction site is not just a workplace. It is a second family. Simple, caring questions. These
And she gone, boo.
But it is the best meal of the day. They spread out the old tarp and sit together. Simultaneously offers food to one another. My wife's raised fish is delicious today. Have some of my pickled egg. These spontaneous offers, the pieces of food passed back and forth. This sharing reveals a one another. It is these collective lunches. The short but peaceful after lunch. Their all concrete height, or simply leaning their head against a bag of food. These blowing through the unfinished window frames. It all creates a surprisingly serene scene. Temporarily forget the sun, the wind, and the fatigue in their muscles. When they wake up, a big stretch and a smile, and they are ready. It shows the incredible moments of rest and relaxation to continue their work with renewed energy. These rests, though brief, are crucial for the symphony and strongly and persistently. Chapter 5. The Dead There is another deeper and more personal commanding skills and materials, transforming raw elements of the street life. Watch Achille Mason. His movements are as rhythmic as a dance. His left hand is the right amount of time, spreading it precisely on the row of bricks. His right hand places the brick, using the handle of his trowel. Be straight. For him, building a wall is not just stacking bricks. It is an art. After finishing a section of wall, he it is a testament to his patience. Joy is the joy of perfection, of pursuing precision with humility. Losing track of time through his surroundings. Before starting, he will often stroke the surface of the wooden plank, feeling the grain, smelling its characteristics. Each type of wood has its own personality, and the master carpenter is one who understands that personality. Our piece of wood depicts the gracefully curving staircase.
Gas station just unhooked.
Mortises and tenements that fit together perfectly without a single nail. This is the joy of creation, of breathing life into material. He doesn't just work with wood, he converses with it. He respects every grain, trying to preserve its natural beauty while
No, my boy! Father, help!
puts a door into its frame, and it aligns perfectly, opening and closing smoothly and silently. It is a moment of joy.
哎呦喂，流得嚟，我睇下牙咗啊！
And she gone, Bo.
He lays down precise well. And without gaps. That is the He conquers the hardness of metal using high heat. Ornate balcony railing brings a sense of power and pride. He knows that the frame made by his hands that gives strength and longevity. Joy is a self-fulfilling The electrician runs complex wiring lines. Everyone will often let out a cheer of delight. Joy comes when he turns on the main water line, and clean water flows from
Grazie, credo come se.
bringing convenience and vitality to a space. They are the ones building with just enough light to stay, and the feeling of being Chapter 6. Conquering challenges. Joy in hardship. Challenges. From harsh weather and on-site problems to complex technical puzzles. However, it is workers must constantly keep dialogue with the sun, the wind, not absent. It is the joy of finding a shady corner to rest. It is the hearty laughter as they splash water on each other to cool down.
Comment? Ah, il s'appelle Noupi. Dis bonjour, Noupi.
Requiring the coordinated efforts of dozens of people. Quickly installing a complex infrastructure at great heights, demanding absolute precision. Being part of a smoothly running machine, where each they are not just colleagues, they are comrades. 3 points. Respect among trainers. On a construction site, each team is a formwork team, the masonry team, the electrical and plumbing team, the painting team. Also comes from the mutual respect among these different trades. The electrician. Determine the straightness and beauty of the concrete wall later on. There are brief but constructive exchanges. Hey, masonry team, please be able to hear us with the pipes. Formwork, let us know when you're done so our steel team can get to work. These requests are always met with directly affects the maximum and the quality of the respected for their skills. It erases distinctions, creates trusted and being trusted creates a tremendous collective strength. 3.3. The silent conductor.
Why, again, remember?
They don't directly wield a trowel or a hammer, but they are the ones who hold the foundation team finish on schedule. They are happy when they see the different teams coordinating seamlessly. Their joy is the joy of witnessing a complex plan of paper gradually being connectors between departments. When there is a conflict between the electrical and plumbing, finding the optimal solution for both. When the weather is unfavorable, they are the ones one's coordination brings an immense sense of the rests in the music. In the midst of strenuous working hours, the short break of enjoy reveals itself in its most genuine and warm form. These are the necessary rests in the noisy symphony of the construction site. The most familiar and old aluminum can. In the shade of a newly built road, or simply sitting on stacks of bricks, they share stories from their everyday lives. These stories are not always about work. They talk about bursts of hearty laughter ring out, chasing away fatigue. Another pours a hot cup of tea for a friend. In these between old and young disappears. All that remains is human connection, rustic. Construction site is not just a workplace, it is a second family. Everything like have an incredible power to connect. Lunch on the but it is the best meal of the day. They spread out an old
That fucking get there is up.
Into a feast of fellowship. They eat and talk animatedly. The sound of their laughter. From a feeling of belonging to a group. The meal is not just to fill the stomach, it's to nourish the spirit. This sharing reveals a beautiful aspect of the workers' culture. Despite life's hardships, they are still willing to share what they have with one another. Turning strangers and colleagues into close friends and brothers. 4.3.
Well, boys, I fucking censored a little too fucking hard.
Their resting place could be anywhere. A wooden plank inside a large flowing through the unfinished window frames. It all creates a surprisingly serene scene. The wind and the fatigue in their muscles. When they wake up, they're perhaps still a bit a smile, and they are ready for the afternoon shift. It shows the incredible adaptability of human beings. No matter the circumstances, they find moments of rest and relaxation to continue their work with renewed energy. These continue playing strongly and persistently. Relationship between worker and their family.
Tecnologia!
Oi!
As a dance, his left hand scoops just the right amount of water, spreading it. His right hand places the right, using the handle of his trowel to tap it gently into place. Stacking this. It is an art form. His joy lies. His work with a satisfied smile. That's all to him.
Usanenha! Usanenha!
The experience accumulated over decades. When the worker is completely immersed in his task, losing track of time. Absolute strength. It is a pure joy, derived from the very essence. The carpenter has a special. From turning a rough, gnarled piece of wood into an exquisite door frame, graceful curtain staircase. The sound of creating mortises and tenons that fit together perfectly without a single nail. This is the joy of creation. Working life into material. He doesn't just work with wood, he converses with it. Introduction, finding joy in reinforced concrete. When one thinks of construction, sweat rolling down sunburned faces. This perspective is not wrong, but it is incomplete. For hidden beneath that rough, coarse exterior lies creativity, camaraderie, and quiet pride. It is a joy that can be touched, seen, and felt by the senses. A joy that is genuinely trusted and enduring through very structured communities. This essay does not aim to remove the difficulties of the construction project. Instead, it is a journey of exploration. Celebrating joyful moments, a noble spirit. The joy of conquering technical challenges. Above all, the joy of knowing that one's labor is helping to build lasting.
Mas... Mas que idiota.
It is a dream waiting to be awakened. One point ink stroke. It is the embodiment of a window frame that will welcome you.
Eu ando com Willy. Papa Willy.
The joy of visualization, of imagination. When the engineer and project manager receive the set, they can walk through a house that doesn't yet exist, sensing but incredibly exciting. They discuss the symphony of joy on the construction site. Introduction. When one thinks of construction, the images that often come to mind. Coarse exterior lies a world of vibrancy. A joy that can be touched, seen, and felt with all the senses. A joy as genuine. It does not aim to ignore the difficulties of the construction trade. Familiar story. Find and celebrate the joyful moments. Story of the joy of turning an inanimate volume into a warm home. One's labor is helpful and lasting values for the community.
Tecnologia! 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 Tecnologia!
Talented hands, creative minds, and enthusiastic hearts that work together to become one, transforming into a stage for the joy of labor. Let us step into that world together to see that in the flowers of happiness are always quietly blooming. Top to eye. The uninitiated, a technical blueprint may seem like a chaotic jumble of lines, numbers, and incomprehensible green waiting to be awakened. 1.1. Than just an ink stroke. It is the embodiment of a future. Or about a family will gather on a cool evening. The first when the engineer and project manager receive the set of blueprints, they don't just see dry figures. They can walk through a house that doesn't yet exist, sensing the space.
I hold him up.
It is a silent but incredibly exciting dialogue. They discuss every small detail. This corner should be rounded slightly to create a softer feel. The electrical system should be laid out like this to optimize the dream. The joy here is the joy of intellectual.
Speakers, fuck is a code.
Oh, fuck, no.
Becomes something more than a dream. It is a deep as they first unroll the large blueprint of the construction site.
Tecnologia!
Tecnologia.
Tecnologia!
And see their work laid out for the iron worker sees the position of every steel bar he will bend, every tie he will make. The mason sees every row of bricks he will lay, every section of wall he will plaster. Blueprint creates order, a clear objective in a vast and somewhat chaotic space of everyone knows their exact role and task within the larger They are not just following orders, they are translating, turning the language.
Oye, ¿cuándo pagan? Estamos para la...
And every time a part of the structure is completed exactly on the right path to the treasure.
¡Ey, ya le viste, güey! ¡Sórbole de aquí, Johnny!
Is the opening drum roll, the first note of a grand symphony. Journey to become reality.
Technology.
Shovel hitting it with a rustling sound. The investors smile with hope. The land before them is no longer an inanimate space. Like a farmer sowing the first seeds in his field. It is a pure, optimistic feeling.
Oh no. Oh no.
After the formal rituals, the construction site begins to transform. But the voice of power and readiness, the excavator extends its for the workers, this sound is a familiar and exciting one. It signals that the work has truly begun. They turning the site into a living canvas of labor. There is a unique joy. In just a few days, the visible change, day by day, hour by hour, brings an immediate sense of satisfaction. This is the joy of performing the heaviest tasks, paving the way for more delicate work.
Technology. Technology.
Every engine roll, every switch. The orchestra on site. It is a collective work of art, created by the The construction site thus becomes 3.1. The unspoken language unnecessary. Experienced construction workers have developed their plans to know where to receive it and which way to turn it. A light tap on the pole. Or watch a master mason teaching a young apprentice. Water is measured by his experience. Master mason, and the water mix is just right. It's like dancers performing. Unified dance. The feeling of being part of a smoothly running machine where each person is vital. They are comrades. 3.2. The masonry team, the electrical and plumbing team, the painting team. The electrician, the running board. The painter will wait for the plaster layer from the mason. Precision will determine the straightness and weight of the concrete wall. Please leave a hole here for us to run the pipes. Formwork. These requests are always met with willingness because they understand the quality of the entire project. This joy is the joy of a creating an egalitarian the silent conductor. This orchestra will perform erected sturdily. They are happy when they see the different teams gradually being utilized smoothly in the field. They are the
Holy shit!
the electrical and plumbing teams. They are the ones communicating.
Bulgarien ist hier entkommen wieder, ne? Wegen
One's coordination brings an immense sense of satisfaction. Its most wonderful melodies. Chapter 4. In the midst of strenuous working hours, a short break to enjoy the views itself is most construction site. A time for everyone to recharge and strengthen. A pot of tea on site. The most familiar and beautiful village is share stories from their everyday lives. These stories are not always about work. They talk about in their hometown, a football match from the night before. First, a cigarette with the person next to him. Another
Da bine schentar pe murtul un tart tot.
young disappears. All that remains is human connection. Here is the joy of sharing. They share not just tea and cigarettes, but also their thoughts and worries. The construction site is not just a workplace, it's a central family. Is everything all right at home?
Compensa, vamos ter que achar uma solução aí. O caminhão está empinando, segundo a informação. Se eles levarem mais para trás e o caminhão empinar, aí eu, assim, penso que o planejamento pelo brasileiro é uma coisa bem interessante. Olha lá, caminhão, você fala assim, olha só, olha o que está acontecendo.
My family made spring rolls yesterday. Have some of my food today. Spontaneous offers, pieces of food just wrapped before, turn a humble meal into a feast of the sound of their laughter and chatter brings out the distance.
This is what happened. What the?
Turning strangers and colleagues into close friends. Comes a precious few dozen minutes of napping. Their resting place could be anywhere. On a wooden plank, inside a large uninstalled fire, or simply leaning their head against a bag of cement. Though makeshift, it is a peaceful breeze blowing through the unfinished window frames. It all creates a surprisingly serene sun, fatigue in the muscles. Much refreshed, a big stretch, a smile, and they are ready.
Para las personas que no saben, así hace pipí un tractor.
Rest and relaxation continue their work with renewed energy. The symphony of the construction site to continue playing strongly and persistently. There is another paper and master of commanding skills and materials, transforming raw elements. On the roll of brakes. His right hand places the brakes, squints, sighting along the taut guide. It's not just stacking brakes. It is an art form. It is a testament to his patience. Joy is the joy of perfection, pursuing precision down to the millimeter. It is the flow state when the worker is completely immersed in his task, using traffic time. There is only him, the grit, and the desire to create an absolute straight line. The carpenter has a special connection. Smelling its characteristic fragrance. Each type of wood has its own personality. Exquisite wood frame, gracefully curving stem. The decisive sound of the chisel, creating more He doesn't just work. Trying to preserve its natural beauty while shaping it to his will. When he fits a door into its frame and it aligns perfectly, opening not just a product, it is a successful dialogue between human and sparks from cutting and welding machines fly like forming his own
Про мою любовь жизнь благодарю за то, что я тебя.
connecting separate pieces of iron into a solid shiny and without gas. That is the standard of his craft. He combines the hardness of metal using
Cuando el cliente no puede pagar, hay que venir a tumbar.
unsung heroes. But their joy is no less significant. Runs complex wiring like a spark. He safe and scientific. His greatest moment is when the project is complete. He flips the main switch and lights up. The first time electric light fills the everyone is often let out a cheer of delight. He turns on the main water heater. Clean water flows from every They are the ones who create the circulatory system and the nervous system. Be a lifeless shell, and the feeling of being the one who brings conquering challenges, joy in hardship. The construction However, it is precisely the process of facing and overcoming these difficulties. Exposed to the elements. The joy of finding a shady corner to rest. Blissful feeling.
If the power goes, you're gonna go. Get the fucking power.
They splash water.
It's not as nice. Oh my gosh!
The perseverance to stick with a job. Work may be difficult, but that is they switch to indoor tasks, covering materials, and being proactive, making do with what one has. And after
Everybody claims they want to make big boy money.
Does not always match the blueprint. An unexpected problem can arise. The ground is weaker than anticipated. An unmapped underground pipe suddenly appears. The batch of materials is slightly. The construction site turns into a giant puzzle. This is when collective intelligence.
Oh my god.
Reinforce the foundation in this area. We could incredibly satisfying. It not only solves the need effort, but also
Kaya ba? Sini Josh! Kulit pa!
6.3. The joy of completing. There are always phases that are considered the toughest ones to crack. Requiring the coordinated effort of dozens of demanding absolute precision and safety.
Puas.
Sweat pouring down. No one dares to where each person is a vital link, brings a deep sense of they are comrades. 3.2. Mutual respect the masonry team. The joy of collaboration also comes from the mutual respect. The formwork team knows that their precision will there are brief but constructive exchanges. Hey, masonry team, please leave a hole here for us to run the pipes. Formwork, let us know when you're done so our steel team can get to work. These requests are always met with willingness, because they understand that joy is the joy of a micro-society, where every individual has value and is respected for their the feeling of trusting and being trusted creates a the silent leader for this orchestra. They don't directly wield a trowel or a hammer. It's a comprehensive one. They are happy when they see the foundation.
Pessoal, agora pense no motorista doido que tá nessa catapilha aí. Olha aí, o que tá...
They are happy when they see the different teams coordinating seamlessly. They are the problem solvers, the connectors. Ones to meet and finding the optimal solution for both. When operating smoothly, sense of satisfaction. It is the joy of the leader, the guide. Precious breaks, the rest is music. In the midst of stretching,
Yo.
necessary rest in the noisy symphony of the construction site. On site. The most familiar and beautiful. In the shade of a newly built house, or simply sitting on stacks of bricks, they Bursts of hearty laughter ring. Another pours a hot cup of tea for a friend. All that remains is human connection. But also their thoughts and worries. The construction site is... Okay. Or is everything all right at home? The meal becomes a miniature buffet where everyone spontaneously offers food to one another. Try a few. My family made spring rolls yesterday. Have a few. These spontaneous offers, the pieces of food passed back and forth, the meal is a taste of fellowship. They eat and talk animated. Joy comes from community, from the feeling of belonging to a group. Reveals a beautiful aspect of the workers' culture. Despite life's hardships, they are still willing to share what they have with one another. Close friends and lovers. 4.3. A dozen minutes of nap. Their resting place could be anywhere, on a wooden plank. Though makeshift, it is a peaceful sleep. The steady snoring of a friend nearby. In that short sleep, they temporarily forget the sun, the wind, and the fatigue. A big stretch, a smile, and they are ready for the afternoon shift. It shows the incredible adaptability of human beings. Rest and relaxation and continue their work with renewed energy. Chapter 5. The dance of skill and material, the joy of mastering. If the joy of collaboration comes from the relationship between people, there is another, deeper and more personal joy that comes from the relationship between a worker and their craft. It is the joy of mastery, of commanding skills and materials, of transforming raw elements into perfect products. His movements are as rhythmic as a dance. His left hand scoops just the right amount of mortar, spreading it decisively on the road. He squints, sighting along the short guide street. Not just stacking bricks, it is an art form. His flawless technique. After finishing his work with a satisfied smile. That wall to him is a masterpiece. The experience accumulated over decades. Precision down to the millimeter. It is the flow state when the worker is completely immersed in his task, losing track of time and his surroundings. There is only him, the brick, and the desire to create an absolute work. Before starting, he will often stroke the surface of a wooden plank, feeling its grain.